name's Tina. Welcome to my Crochet channel. This is my first YouTube video, and it's going to be dealing with, or I'm going to be dealing with, all things knitting and crochet, something that I enjoy very much. I learnt to knit when I was about seven-ish. Then growing up, did all the scarves, that kind of thing. Then when I was a student, moved on to stripy jumpers. And then with working, and then with having a family, didn't really do much at all. I've always made things. I used to make jewellery for years and sell it at markets, and I had some in a little shop, not my own shop, but I used to sell some in the shop. And then 5 years ago I learned to crochet, and I have not stopped crocheting since, and I've picked up knitting again, and I just love all things connected to making things with yarn, actually. And I've discovered that I really like hand-dyed yarn as well. I even had a little go at dyeing some yarn. Not easy, but I enjoyed it. But I think the focus for me is definitely on just knitting and crocheting things. I would like to do so many things. There's not enough hours in the day. So anyway, welcome to this video or podcast. I watch lots and lots. I'm going to call them podcasts because everyone in the knitting and crochet community, or most people, seem to call them that. And I always thought a podcast was something that you listen to. But I watch knitting and crochet podcasts because that's what they call them. So I'm happy to call it a podcast, but it could be seen as just a knitting crochet journal, video diary, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I do have a lot of spare time these days, and so I'm able to crochet and knit quite a lot, really. My children are all grown up, they're all in their 20s, and they're all off doing what they need to do, which is great. They do come home, which I love, and I go and visit them. But, you know, I've got lots more freed up hours, many more than I used to have. And then, obviously, with the pandemic hitting, then I've had even more hours because, well, I haven't been able to do the job that I normally would do. So I've just been crocheting and knitting like crazy. I get a bit twitchy when I'm not doing it. My friends will all vouch for that. So I thought I'd start. There does seem to be a formula that podcasters follow, and it seems that people show their finished things, then their works in progress, and I'd like to do those two things, but then also finish off with dream knitting, dream crocheting, so patterns that I'd like to do. And as I say, I really enjoy watching podcasts. I've already said that, but the reason for that is that I find them really informative. I've discovered lots of new designers and learnt a lot about yarn, different yarns, and I've also learnt new techniques, and also I've been inspired to try things that perhaps I wouldn't normally try. So I'm going to start off with some finished projects. Oh, and that's the other thing. What I thought I would do, I would take it back to when the first lockdown started. So I'm going to sort of go back and show you things that I've made throughout the last year and a half. Not all today. I'm going to stagger it. So I'm going to start off with some finished items, and I'll have to refer to my notes because I will forget. And the first thing I'm going to show is a shawl which I made back in March when the first lockdown hit, and it's called the Doris shawl. That's quite annoying because I think it's back to front, and it's a pattern by Kat Goldin, and she's of the Crochet Project. It's a crochet shawl, and I used a 3.5mm hook to crochet it. This is one of the colours that I used. which is a hand-dyed yarn by Irish Artisan Yarns, and it's on her baby alpaca and merino base. It's gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it's not just a flat colour, you can see the variation with it being hand-dyed, which I love. So the other colour I couldn't find the ball, and I can't remember the name of that one either. But here is the little shawl, the Doris shawl. It's quite small, but it's so lovely. There we go. I'll model it. So you can wear it just like that, which is quite nice, jaunty, not too big, doesn't drown me. But I've also worn it in the spring and probably last autumn as well, under my coat, just as a little scarf, just to snug in like that under my coat when I'm walking the dog, for example. And I really like it. I think I might make another one and make a bigger one actually. But yes, so that is my Doris shawl that I made. And then I'm going through chronologically. So this was sort of March when lockdown hit in 2020 in the UK. I'm in the UK, so that's when our first lockdown happened. Then the next finished item that I have is this tiny little rainbow, and this was the symbol of hope throughout the pandemic, and there were lots of people crocheting and knitting these, and I did this is crochet again. I did do quite a few, but I gave them to my children. So here it is. I just grabbed some acrylics from my stash and I hang it in the window. And I just got the pattern from the internet, a free pattern by Laura Loves Crochet. So there, it's my little rainbow of hope. And the next thing that I'm going to show you is this blanket here actually. Whoops. And this is the Spice of Life blanket, which is a pattern by Sandra from Cherry Heart. And actually, funnily enough, she's just relaunched this pattern with a new colourway, a new colour pack. She's doing kits, I think, with new colours. I think you can get them from Black Sheep Wools. But I just saw this pattern and decided to do it and use it as a stash buster. So I didn't buy any yarn for it, I just used all my acrylics from my stash. And I used a 4mm hook, and it was quite enjoyable because the variety of stitches is endless really. And it was a good way to free up some of my shelf space so I could buy more yarn. So that's the Spice of Life blanket there. And then another pattern that, another finished item that I have is the Fit to Burst mitts. And I'll show you a picture of them first. It's only a small picture. And then I've got another picture actually here. No, I have to fold because I have a habit, terrible habit, of writing all over my patterns, and I write people's phone numbers, I write all sorts of stuff. There's another picture. I don't know if that's in focus. So I made mine using just scraps of 4-ply cotton, fingering weight cotton that I had in my stash, and I'll put them on. Here they are. To get my rings caught in the lace. So there's one, and then here's the other one. Over my watch. There. So they are, they're quite nice, and I've used a sort of emerald green by the wrists or the arms, then a paler green, and I remember what that was actually. That was a whirlette So that is a Shapier's Whirlette, pale green, and then this sort of turquoisey, bluey, greeny colour for the end. They're a bit dirty actually. I do wear them. Oh, my cat is scratching at the door to get in. Oh, and I don't know how to edit videos, so I might have to jump up, let her in, and then run back. Jemima, come on. You coming in? Come on. Oh. Sorry about that. She's just looking at me and she hasn't come in now. But anyway, so that was the Fit to Burst mitts. Now, the designer for these is Rosina from Zines and Rogers, and she does a lovely crochet podcast. Actually, as does Sandra Paul. She's from Cherry Heart and she does a great podcast. And she does a lot of crochet, but she also knits. Rosina from Zines and Rogers doesn't knit, I don't think, but she does lots and lots of crochet stuff. So, do I need to say anything else about that? Let me just check what I've written. I used a 3mm hook for these, and yeah, they're lovely. I think I would make these again, brighter colours, perhaps on the main bit. And then the other finished object that I wanted to show you, is my very first pair ever of knitted socks. And I bought some yarn from Kate Celine. She does beautiful hand-dyed yarns, all speckly, lots of different colours. Here's some of the bits that are left over. It's all fingering weight and it's 75% merino, 25% nylon, which is ideal for socks. So the nylon gives it some durability. So I used that colour and that one. I mean, I had a lot of ends to sew in at the end. That one, which is a lovely pinky colour, and this one. But as you can see, there's a lot of variegation in her yarn. Love it. And well, I've worn these a lot and I don't have any sock blockers, but here it is. In fact, what I'll do, I'll put them on my feet. I'll model them. Although you won't want to see my feet, will you? But that's the second one. I did make a mistake because it's the first time I'd ever knitted in the round, and I started doing some purling and forgetting that you just need to, for stockinette, you just need to knit. You don't need to do purls. So I did the other one to match, and I knitted the magic loop method. I didn't use DPNs, and I followed a video to do. This is just a vanilla sock. Again, that confused me when I first started, thinking vanilla, what does that mean? Vanilla sock. It just means plain stockinette really, with no pattern. There's quite a few mistakes in it as well. There's a mistake there. If you can see that kind of carry of yarn there, that yellow, that shouldn't be there, but it doesn't matter. But I'll put them on so you can see. And yes, sorry, I followed a video by Deborah of, she's Queen Deborah from Meanwhile at the Castle, and she did a whole series of how to knit socks on magic loop, and it's a YouTube video, and I found it really well, better than reading a pattern, but I think I'm ready to read patterns now. I've made quite a few pairs, although I don't do magic loop anymore. I do them on 9-inch circulars. So there they are. There's one, quite nice. There's the other one, and I do wear them a lot, as you can tell by the state of them. So that's those. Put those socks on the floor. So I think that's all my finished items for this video, because I don't want to show you too many things, but I thought I would go on to some whips, some work in progress. And the first work in progress I'd like to show you is made, well, here's the pattern, and it's called the the Baby Rainbow Sampler blanket, and it's by Kirsten Ballerina of Schachenmayr, a crocheter. It's another, I guess this is you could say is a sampler blanket, this Spice of Life, so it's another idea on that. But mine doesn't look anything like that because I've scratched the word rainbow out, and mine is all in this yarn here. So I mean, it was supposed to be in double knit. I've gone for Aran. I just got this from my local Aldi shop, and I went up to a 6mm hook, and basically this is what I've got so far. Is this the right way? No, this is the right way. So one ball, this ball here, this size, made all of this. And I just guessed really from my, I didn't really know how wide. It's not going to be massively wide, but I did 121 chains. But again, it's so nice, the texture, and with just being in the one colour, the texture really screams at you. So can you see all the different stitches? So I need to get on with that, really, but worryingly, I've only got one more of these balls of yarn, so it's only going to be double that size, but I think perhaps that'll be enough just to chuck over your legs in the winter time, or as a car blanket. Whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my Baby Rainbow Sampler, although without the rainbow. I'm also working on a pair of socks, another pair of socks. These aren't for me, these are for my son's girlfriend, and this is the first one. Made them quite long. She wants to wear them with her boots, and it's just a variegated, well, I don't know if you call this self-striping. I don't think you do, because it's not really stripes, and I haven't got sock blockers, so, and there's all the stitch markers on, just so that I can make sure this second one is going to be exactly the same size, so I count in tens. It just makes it easier for me. And the yarn I've used, well, here's the ball in use, and it's a commercial yarn by these people, Regia, Schachenmayr, or Schachenmayr. That's all back to front, it's so annoying. Okay, so I'm getting on with those, not too far to go. I've gone down, here's my 9-inch circular that they're on, and it's a 2.25mm, and the yarn is fingering weight, and I think it's merino and nylon, yes, 75% and 25%, and yeah, I've only got about another 60 rows to go maybe, but yeah, I'll have to get some sock blockers because they look so much better on there. There's another close-up of the pattern, of the yarn rather. There is no pattern. This is another vanilla sock. So that's another work in progress I have. I'll just look at my list. This is another one. It's a blanket. This one's crochet, and it's called the Trio Blanket, and it's by Susan Carlson, and I'm using a 3mm hook for this one, and well, it's almost done actually. And the yarns that I'm using, you use 3 yarns at once. I'll show you it first and I'll explain. If you can see it. It's really lovely. The yarns I'm using are from my advent calendar from last year, which I got from Susie at Elderflower Stitches. Absolutely beautiful colourway. I love her vibe. She loves pastels, as do I, and well, I love this. I like the density of the fabric as well. The way the pattern is very simple, and traditionally it's made using 3 whirls, the Shapier's whirls. And so what I did, I had 24 minis and I divided the 24 into 3 groups of 8. So each group of 8 became a whirl. And I could have magic balled them together, I guess, tied them together, but I didn't bother. But I numbered them and then I just picked each one in the right order out. And so I've got this sort of colour change going on throughout the blanket. I don't think the colours are showing up as well on this camera, in fact, but there's a lot of blues and yellows in there as well. And then it's kind of ombres through to quite peachy colours now. Very peachy, but I don't think it's showing up as well colour-wise on there. So that's my trio blanket. And that will be nearly finished. When it is finished, the pattern doesn't call for a border, but I'm going to put some kind of border on there. And I ordered some more yarn from Susie so that I can do that. I got a choice of 2 colours, so I haven't decided yet what colour to do the border. And maybe one day it could be a baby blanket. It hasn't got any holes in it, which is good because then the baby's fingers can't get stuck in any of the holes. But anyway, that's a long way off. I don't know any little babies just yet to gift that to. So that's a work in progress. What else have I got written down here? That is it for work. I have got more, but again, I don't want to show too many at once because it would just be too much. But I thought I'd talk about my dream projects. So I have a few things that I'm going to cast these on. And these are the Sterntaler socks. And they're by Beck Sorenson from Soprano Knits. And I've chosen this colour here. Again, it's from Irish Artisan Yarns. And oh, I love this colour. It's called Galway. And this is 75% merino, 25% nylon. Again, ideal for socks. I don't know if you can see the pattern on these. So I've never ever done socks with a pattern before. So this is the first. But I thought I'd have a go at those. See what happens. So I'm going to cast those on. Although the pattern calls for 2mm needles, which I don't have, so I'll either go with 2.25 or order some new needles. I don't know yet. Then I really want to make this for my dog. A friend gifted me this pattern. Look at that. And I'm just going to choose an Aran weight yarn for that. I have to be careful, I shouldn't be showing the pattern, just the picture. Okay, so that. And now my dog is bigger than this. She's a working Cocker Spaniel, so I think this size is extra small, shown on here. I think I'd probably do the medium for her, but they do give some chest measurements, so I'll probably check what her chest is and either do small or medium. I don't think... Oh, and there's large and extra large, so I don't think it should be those, but who knows. And then another knit that I want to do is this one, and it's called the Jimmy Shawl, and it's by Kirsten of Tricot et Stitch. She's French, and I saw this pattern ages ago, and all I saw was these two here, the black and cream, which just is not me at all. I mean, I can see it's a beautiful shawl, but I would never have looked at it and thought, oh, I want to make that. And this is what I mean about watching people's podcasts, because I was watching hers and she was wearing this one. She had it on. And that is a bit of me, that. And I just thought, oh, that's so nice. And if you subscribe to Crystal's newsletter, you get this pattern free. So I thought, oh, well, might as well do that. And I've picked the yarns that I'm going to use. They're not quite the same as Crystal's, but similar. So my main colour, I'm going to use this, which is by a Knit Away, a hand dyer, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So I'm going to use that beautiful pink as my main colourway, and then my accents are going to be these. There's 8 in here. I think I only need 7, but these two are quite similar, so I'll just choose one of those, probably this one. But this set is called the Wisteria Fade set, and it's from Pixie Yarn. And sorry if there's lots of crackling from the bag and reflection from the bag. But these again are merino, 75% merino, 25% nylon. So I think those with this will just look nice. Quite summery, seeing as we're marching into autumn and winter, but it doesn't matter. And then another dream knit that I have is this pair of socks. And they're called Lucky Star Socks. I've bought the pattern ready. I haven't chosen my colours yet. I'm not sure I want to do exactly the same as those. And again, it's from Deborah, who's meanwhile at the castle. I just love them. They're so retro. But also, here and here, this is called Swiss darning, or there's another name for it. Duplicate stitch. So I'm keen to try that because I've never done duplicate stitch before. I've never done Swiss darning either. So I'm going to make those socks. I might not cast those on straight away, but they're definitely on the horizon. And I think that's all I have to say. That's all my, yeah, so that's all the dream. Oh, I've got many more, but again, I don't want to talk about all of them at once. So I'll probably do another video in a fortnight or maybe in a week, but that's my aim, to do one once a fortnight. It's great for me as a kind of journaling exercise. And I know I do put most of my projects on Instagram, but I just thought, yeah, give it a go. Keeps me off the streets. And I do enjoy all things knitting, all things crocheting, and yeah, I hope that the things I show you can inspire other people to do things, just as I've been inspired by watching other podcasts. Okay, take care, bye.